Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, and you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
What? Okay, well, has this always been a thing? Where have I been?
Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to the NXT recap, brought to you by the SmackDown podcast. I'm your host, Katie Baby,
Hey, Gary.
and I'm joined, of course, by Mr. NXT of the SmackDown podcast, RN. How you doing?
What's good, sis? How you doing?
I'm good. Obviously Kevin's not here.
Yeah, because he's a little bitch boy.
I don't even know how to react to that. I mean, because it's kind of true.
Nothing else to say?
Nothing else to say. We'll leave it at that. So we're like a wrestling recap show. I don't know how we're allowed to do this.
Well, we weren't for about 9 months, so.
You know, a surprise.
We're back.
We're back. Allegedly. So you can find us recording NXT live, usually on Thursdays, either 8:30 or 9:30, depending on who's with me and RN, on twitch.tv/SmackDown Podcast. You can find the AEW, Raw, and SmackDown recaps on twitch.tv/PuttingYouOver. If you miss a live stream, you can go to youtube.com/SmackDown Podcast and like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified every time we post a new video. That is probably my favorite thing Kyle has ever sent me, is that little picture that pops up with all the things clicked. If you like to listen to your podcast, we have the audio form up on a plethora of podcast platforms. We also are the exclusive recap for Wrestling News World. Head on over to the website, bookmark the page, make it your home for all the wrestling news, wants, and needs. Jay, I'm getting to it. Jay's harassing me in the chat. I have a system. Let me do it.
Gotta do the corporate shit, baby J. Chill.
I'm getting to the final piece of the corporate shtick that I do, which is our Patreon. Now, since Kyle keeps saying he's gonna clip Kevin doing it, he hasn't yet. RN, do you want to plug the Patreon?
I mean, I guess I don't have a choice. Head on over to patreon.com/SmackRawPodcast. Hit your tiers. We got the $5 tier, $10 tier. Get you some t-shirts, stickers, get us to shout you out weekly. If you have a podcast or a Twitch streaming channel that we can shout out, we can definitely do that for you for a month. And don't forget the Pimp RN tier. That's $50. I will be a whore for you. Or you could put me down as we're in a relationship. I don't care. But that's top dollar shit, so.
Ow. I like that it just went from just pimping you to just using you, or like you could just we can be in a relationship. You've just added so many layers to it now.
There is no shame of the things I would do for money.
Hey,
Leave it at that.
no shame. No shame. You also forgot to mention, or you might have mentioned it, submitting your unpopular wrestling opinions.
Oh, which I will be on the show next Thursday too. Forgot about that. Bringing it back. Actually, going to be with Matt Vertigo and I think Kenny for your thoughts. I think along with the boss man Kaitar.
The boss man. It's gonna be great. I don't know. That means I have to do NXT with Kevin, and that means I'm gonna miss UWO. Why do I get the shit end of the stick here?
Not my problem.
Hey, because you're leaving me alone with Kevin again.
Shit, if he shows up, he's been skipped out on the last 5 NXT shows.
Honestly, I was coming to the point where I was about to do NXT by myself if Kevin doesn't show up. I don't even care. I'll knock it out in 30 minutes. Talk about NXT and we'll be on our way. Oh, God. But let's talk about NXT. Overall, what'd you think?
It was a decent show. I don't know. I think I had higher expectations for it than what the actual execution of it was, but it was a solid show. I say B show.
Yeah, they're definitely building a lot of things, which I like.
Right.
We saw like the end of some feuds, so like Thatcher and Champa. Well, I'm assuming it's over after their fight pit match. And a lot of people were saying there was a lot of upsets with the Dusty Classic matches.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not. I mean, I was happy with them, but at the same time, like I said, I had. I don't know. I guess the match quality wasn't like superb like I thought it would be, but I mean, everybody has an off day. It wasn't. Nothing was terrible. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah.
So the first of possibly three upsets according to a lot of the internet, it was the first round Dusty Classic match. So we had the team of Leon Ruff and Kushida taking on The Way, Austin Theory, and the NXT North American Champion Johnny Gargano. Honestly, I liked how this match went. I liked that there was a lot of focus on Theory and Gargano's teamwork because it's Johnny and his protege
Hmm.
taking on a team that shouldn't really be together, being Leon Ruff and Kushida. Their only common goal is that they hate Johnny, and Johnny tried to beat them both up. And I like that Kushida's the one who went on, like, he got the hot tag, went on a nice streak, was taking everybody out, and he's the one who pins Gargano.
That was the part. Like, I understand what it was because clearly they're building them towards a North American title feud, but you didn't need them to be in the Dusty Classic for this. Like, that was the part that kind of threw me off and where I wasn't really into because like you said, they were thrown together team that shouldn't have won, shouldn't even be together. And Johnny and Theory, they look like a tag team or acting like a tag team. Like, I would have much rather them win. But like I said, the outcome of the match, if it wasn't in the Dusty Classic, I'd be here for it. And like, I understand it. I'd be down for it because that's just your vehicle to get the ball rolling for Kushida versus Gargano. But now these fuckers get move on to the next to the next round of the tournament. So it's like you kind of I don't know. I don't think they should have lost. I don't think they should have beat them, but I mean it kind of is what it is. It was a dope ass match. So to me, it might have been the match of the night, and that's including the fight pit.
Wow. I mean, if, like, looking back at it, that's like that and the fight pit are like number one, number two,
Yeah.
very, very close.
Right.
I think what they should have done with the classic for this match at least is just have The Way move on and have Kushida screw Johnny in the next round or something.
Right. That's what I was expecting to happen.
Yeah.
Like
That's honestly what I was expecting too. So when I saw that Ruff and Kushida won and Kushida's the one who pinned Johnny, I was like, okay, I see it.
it wasn't necessary in the Dusty Classic.
Exactly. See?
And don't get me wrong, they were Kushida and Ruff. They were a dope ass team. Like they looked good together. Like besides them being so opposite of each other, still was kind of dope. And like they had some nice stuff, and they both had some good moments in the ring. But like I hate using the tournament as a way to push singles storylines. Like it's the Dusty Classic Tag Team Tournament. Like fuck off.
I mean, you're right. And we kind of saw that with like the women's match too.
Yeah.
But I like how they did that one. That's kind of what I thought would happen with like
Right.
Kushida and Johnny, but for the next round, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but well, it was pretty much the exact same thing, really. But the women's one, we'll get there. It made more sense.
Yeah.
And I think this did.
Yeah, this was just a way to have Kushida pin Johnny, but again, no need to use the Dusty Classic for it.
None.
So following that, we got like a video promo from Pete Dunne saying that even though Balor doesn't want to admit it, they are cut from the same cloth. And while Finn left and went up to the main roster, Pete like basically made NXT UK what it is. And he's insulted that Finn told him to get in line if he wants a shot at the title. And Pete saying, oh, well, I'm the real threat. Me and you, it's inevitable. and you're going to pass the torch, and you're just going to be a part of my legacy. Like, I'm about it. I can't wait for this match, probably a takeover.
Right. It's to me, this is the marquee match. Like, and I wish they would build towards it more without having to involve Undisputed Era and Kyle and all of them. Like, I wish they just had their own program off to the side. But I guess it's just the kind of way to keep Adam and them at the top of the cards, kind of, and still keep them kind of involved because clearly they don't have shit for them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I'm this match is gonna be fucking. It's gonna be match of the year. Like, there's if not match of the year, it's gonna be one of them. I can guarantee that.
Yeah, and if it's gonna be if just as if not more hard hitting than Finn versus Kyle both times.
Right.
And those matches were incredible. So add Pete Dunne, who's a monster, into the mix. It's gonna be so good to watch.
Yeah, no, it like I said, I'm calling match of the year, if not for sure top 5 match the rest of this year, guaranteed.
And the fact that that's gonna be happening in February, and we're already saying match of the year.
Right.
NXT knows what they're doing.
Right. I mean, it is what it is. Like I've seen it. I listened to Busted Open Radio, and Bubba Ray said it the best. AEW, it looks like a polished indie show. NXT looks like a polished wrestling show. There's a difference. You can hate, you can say I'm hating, you can say whatever you want, but you cannot tell me that when you go to a show in your local town for $50, that's not exactly what AEW looks like, just in a bigger arena.
I mean,
They're really not.
Personally, I've never been to any show, so I can't say from personal experience, but I get what people say when they say that.
Yeah, like I said, it is what it is. Like, to me, like, I hate having to do these comparisons because it's not the same thing. Because NXT is developmental. It's guys that will probably never make it to the main roster, mostly, and it's guys that don't want to go to the main roster. So how are you comparing that to another show that's supposed to be competition when the other show can't get 1 million views regularly? It's not a competition. Like, I wish WWE would move them so they can kind of give each other enough room to like breathe and like stay away from each other. And I think that would die down a lot of fires in the wrestling community too, constantly having to pick and choose which one you want when really WWE is the choice no matter what. You can say AEW is dope, and it is, but it's WWE no matter what. Because till AEW can get 1 million or more views weekly, they're an indie show. They're not that much. They're one step ahead, Ring of Honor and Impact. And it just is what it is. People don't want to admit it, but that's just the brass tacks of it.
I mean, I honestly wish, like, NXT would go to another night or Dynamite would go to another night because
I wish it would go back to the network.
Honestly, like, because I'm one of those people who obviously I like both. Clearly, I host both shows at least, but I'm one of those people who I fucking hate the comparisons, and I'm so over it. Like, they're two different shows. Yes, some of the stuff is the same. They have the same type of talent. Like, a lot, like NXT is a lot of like the cruiserweights and the flippy dippies, as I think Seb said last night. AEW, the majority of their roster is, and storyline wise, there's stuff that is similar to other things. It's wrestling. Nothing's gonna be fucking original anymore. Like, why are we still having this conversation of AEW versus NXT? Why can't it just be enjoy whatever the fuck you want?
And like I said, this is WWE's fault for moving NXT. Like,
I agree.
I think it threw a wrench in all their developmental progress that they were making with their people that they have, because like they had to bump up and move people in that shouldn't fucking be on TV, like Leon Ruff. Like, even though he's starting to come into his own, but like we would have never saw him on if they were still an hour on the network. He would never be on TV. I'm sorry.
No,
and probably not even carrying. And probably not even carrying Cross. We wouldn't have seen him as soon as he got signed. Yeah. It would have been like maybe 6-7 months to a year before he finally got any actual time on TV. And clearly he needs it. So this is all WWE. So I don't want anybody to think like I'm not blaming anything on AEW. AEW, the only thing they should do is keep their fucking mouth shut and stop talking about WWE. It's literally ants throwing dirt at a human shoe. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Just take your Napoleon complex somewhere else, handle your business, grow, and be who you are. That's it. But WWE has to always fucking squash the competition And even though they are still technically squashing them, they're not because they're losing every night, every Wednesday. So, like, what was the point of moving your show there? You're splitting the wrestling. You're splitting viewers that you could have been getting. Maybe both shows could get 1 million views if the shows were on different fucking days. You're splitting and taking away from half your audience because you got to flip back and forth. Like, WWE's idiots as usual and never can read the room.
Yeah. Kyle put in the chat, hey, my kid is in the room, language. Yeah, we dropped a lot of Fs. That's on, hey.
Language doesn't count when Kev's not here.
Oh, that's true. We said that last week.
We made a pact.
And plus, I never get to swear anymore. Let me have a day.
Let it loose.
Whew. Anyways, back to NXT. So how do you feel about the whole Malcolm Bivens, Tyler Rust, like Rust going to talk to Regal, getting a match with Bronson Reed type situation?
I hope this shit's over fast and he gets with somebody else because dude's all right. I like him, but like he's not. I want him with Thatcher. That's just what this all boils down to. I want Bivens and Thatcher to be together and involved. They were lights out together. Like it was kind of similar to how Paul and Roman are. Like he was scared shitless of Thatcher at all times, but he was doing whatever he could to get Thatcher taken care of and getting the title match and stuff. Like I want them together. That's all I want. Rust, he's all right, but we can already see that there's dissension there and that something's gonna happen. So I'm hoping he brings somebody else new in to kick his ass, and then he goes with the new guy. That's what I'm hoping.
I mean, you could be right because we'll get to it after Tyler Rust's match. But yeah, the dissension's definitely it's there and it's starting to crumble. So Malcolm Bivens is gonna need someone, and Thatcher's done with Ciampa. It only makes sense. What doesn't make sense is Karrion Kross taking on Ashanti the Adonis.
What happened with him? Like he would like they had him propped up like what was that, like the end of the summer, beginning of the summer? Like they had him propped up like he was gonna be something, and then he's back jobbing all of a sudden.
Yeah, and like him and Desmond Troy were supposed to be in the Dusty Classic, but after Cross beat the living hell out of Ashanti, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, he brutalized them, and not in a good way. That should look terrible.
Yeah, and like, if I didn't have to take notes, I would start timing matches. This was maybe 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Plus another 2 for the beatdown that Cross. He basically just like puts the straitjacket on Desmond Troy and then walks away with Scarlett. Which, what the fuck was Scarlett wearing on her face?
That shit was retarded. It looked like a catcher, like an old school catcher's mask that they just like ripped open. Like literally, that's what it looked like.
Kind of did.
Like I said, I don't know. Like these are not the type of, like, I know he needs squash matches because of his character and what he is, but like, so eventually he needs to be in the ring with people because he is terrible in the ring. I mean, nothing like the only thing that looked good was the Saito suplex. He has mastered that at least where he's not killing anybody, but everything else looked completely terrible. Like the elbow at the end, him rolling him up, like it looked like he about snapped his damn arm trying to roll him over to pin him. Like, yeah, everything just looked rough.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, that's again having to rush him on the TV when he shouldn't have.
Yeah, and then he got hurt, and then didn't get to like do anything, and now he's back, and it's just
terrible. Yeah.
So following that was MSK, basically just their nice Borat impressions in the beginning of their video.
Yeah. Very nice.
Very nice. I was cracking up. I was like, I love that, like, they're just 2 kids who are basically living their dream in there.
Did they still say what MSK stands for, or did I miss it?
No, I still didn't see it.
Okay, all right. I'm glad I'm not tripping. I was like, did I miss it again? Like, what the hell does MSK stand for?
Yeah, I mean, they just said what their names were, which I literally forget.
Something Carter and Wesley.
That sounds about right.
The black Desmond Xavier, whatever, is Wesley, and then and then Wentz is something Carter.
Something
I
Carter.
forgot what his first name was.
I don't know, but I'm excited to see more of them, and they're definitely the favorites right now to win
Yeah.
the Dusty Cup. Are
I
they
mean, I
on?
hope so. I hope the final is them versus Grizzly Young Vets. That's what I'm hoping for.
That would be a very interesting match.
Yeah.
I'd be down.
Yeah. And my thing is too is like we still haven't seen what WWE Universe hasn't seen what the Rascals slash MSK like what they really can do. Like
Mm-hmm.
just that little bit of shit everybody went nuts for in that match last week. That's not even half of the things they can do in the ring. So that's what I'm looking for, getting able to see if they can WWEize their style and still be the Rascals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So Matt said that Ashani should have been with Swerve.
That would be dope.
That would have made more sense. And
Because wasn't he
then
with Patrick? Is that what? Maybe that's what happened. He was wasn't he teaming with Patrick? I think he was. He was getting jumped by. They were getting jumped, and they did a tag match together. Maybe.
maybe I don't know.
'Cause I thought,
I think it was during when Swerve was trying to go after Escobar. It was like Swerve, Adonis, and somebody else.
yeah, I think that is what it was.
Yeah. I honestly can't remember. That was
Again, it,
months ago.
2020 was 6 years ago.
2020 didn't exist. Also, Matt does bring up it would be cool to see MSK versus Adam Cole and Roddy.
Yeah. Hopefully we get the whole gambit of them. Like, hopefully they become it. But I hope they become like the standard bearer for tag teams. They're like that's who all the tag teams have to go through. Like, not in the sense of like the Danny Burch jobber sense, but like them holding the belts for a while and like us getting like a legitimate built up tag team division again.
Yeah, because we see like good tag teams like Lucha House Party, which are on the main roster but have been down in NXT the past like
They
3
make more
weeks.
sense in NXT.
I mean, they do, but then just stop showing them on the main roster.
Right. Which could to me, because like I don't even necessarily like Lucha House Party. I think the shit's kind of lame, but like in that setting, like they look more vibrant, they look more alive on NXT than they do on the main roster. Like
Yeah.
they look like they're flourishing on NXT way more than they ever did on any roster, Raw or SmackDown. So I'm here for it. Like I like them being there.
I mean, did you like that they beat Imperium in the Dusty Classic?
Yeah, I don't mind that because Imperium, like, we can say whatever we want. Imperium are jobbers. I mean, I'm sorry. I know they had a team, but Imperium wasn't meant to be like a real like dope tag team. They were supposed to be like enforcers for Walter, but he's not here. So you kind of got forced into them being like, which don't get me wrong, they are a nice tag team, but like, they're too bland. Like I don't see them like caring. Like I can see them chasing being heels or something, but like them being an actual like somebody that can carry the tag team division. I don't think so because, like I said, to me they're both super low card guys. Like the gimmick's just dope, and like they are dope in the ring, but like that's it. They don't have any personality. Like it just kind of is what it is. And especially without Walter there, giving them some sort of credibility, they're just another tag team.
Yeah, I mean, they are like Eichner and Martel are great in the ring. Like
Yeah.
nothing against that. Like, and so after Dorado hits a shooting star press, which I made the comparison last night when I did AEW, that Private Party also won their match with a shooting star press, and it was just weird that happened in my mind for some reason because I'm also being manipulated into comparing everything AEW and NXT do. So thanks WWE. So after Imperium loses, they're on the outside, and then Alexander Wolf is kind of just standing on the ramp.
Man,
So maybe we're getting Walter soon.
I hope so. Like, 'cause I know he doesn't want to live here, but fine, don't live here. Come here, do a tour. Like when you would go to like Japan and shit. Like, come do a tour. And he used to wrestle here all the time. How the hell did you think he got on WWE's radar? Like, he was in PWD. Him and Thatcher were actually a team. Ring Camp. Like, they are like, there's stuff going on here that he could come here. Like, I know, and I'm sure they probably did have plans on him to come here, but COVID kind of threw a monkey wrench in most of those plans, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But I hope he comes here. And I hope he comes here soon.
Because then we can finally get Walter versus Finn.
Right.
Champion
Right.
versus champion. If Pete doesn't take it off of him.
Or if they run it out, they could go take it to War Games, Imperium versus the new version of Undisputed Era with Finn.
There's a lot of possibilities. Walter in a War Games match actually scares the shit out of me.
He's something serious. I love Walter. I don't think he doesn't get enough. He doesn't get enough roses or credit because he's over there and nobody really watches NXT UK.
Besides you.
Besides me, I guess.
Oh, well, to be fair, I didn't even watch it from the jump, so it's not that I just stopped. I just haven't watched it from the jump.
Well, it comes on a weird time too, and people forget it comes out like Wednesdays or Thursdays, like 2:00 or some shit. So it's like,
Yeah. Which, I mean, I get it, but it's fine. It's fine. So, what was next? Oh, the weigh-in from, like, earlier in the day. So we find out Tommaso's 201, Thatcher's 225, and Ciampa, like, goes for, like, a handshake thing. Thatcher just pushes him, and they're like, oh, save it for the fight pit. Okay.
save it for the fight pit.
Like, why did we need that?
Because they're trying to make it like I normally that's something I would shit on, but like for the fight pit stuff and what it represents, like I'm not mad at them trying to make it seem more like a UFC thing than a normal wrestling match. Like that type of shit, like I don't mind kayfabe stuff where they're trying to keep true to what it's supposed to be. So like I'm not mad at that. Like I said, normally I would shit on it. Like, come on, what the hell is this for? But being that it was for the fight pitch, which is technically just a UFC match, or what they're trying to portray it as, like I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like, I get it, and then I don't get it, because I'm like, well, we find out their weights, like, when they get announced, but it makes sense. I'm also not a UFC fan, because I don't have time to watch everything. So following that, we got Beth Phoenix, who is back in person for commentary. I don't know if it's just for this week or not, but she's back. She's talking about, like, some of the women who've paved the way for the women's evolution. I'm gonna put in parentheses in WWE because that's not where the women's evolution started. That's another topic for another day. But she's talking about Charlotte, Bayley, Becky, Sasha, Bliss, Carmella, Shane, like basically like the bigger names that came out of NXT. And now we finally get the Women's Dusty Classic. And the women on that stage, it looks like it's going to be a great tournament. And we started with Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter, Team Ninja as I call them, taking on Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez. And oh my god, this is probably the biggest upset of the night.
I don't think it was an upset. I'm sorry.
To
I don't
some
think it was
people it was. Not to me.
Which I can see how why people would think that, but like again, the only real goddamn tag team for women in NXT is Team Ninja. Mm-hmm. So to me, it never was. I didn't think it was an upset in any way, shape, or form. I thought the team that was supposed to win won.
Yeah. I mean, I think I said last week with you, I was like, I want in my heart, I want it to be Casey and Kaden who win like the whole damn thing at this point. And I was like, but I know, knowing WWE, they'll screw it over and have Toni and Mercedes win because they're the bigger women. I'm so happy to be wrong.
Yeah. Well, my thing is like too, like reward your actual tag team because everything else is thrown together. Like they're the only, they come out together, same music, they dress alike, they're a tag team. Like, and this is the tag team tournament. So give your only one actual tag team, give them some shine. And like they pulled off some shit. Like Casey's way better than she was than when she left. She's way better. Mm-hmm. Like everything about her facials, how she does her move, how clean that damn Hurricane Rana was off the top rope with all that that was going on up there, like how cleanly she turned that. Like everything about her is just a better wrestler inside the ring and on the mic as well. So like I'm here for it. Like at first I was kind of iffy on their team, and I still am. I still think they're kind of lame because I feel like the attitude that they're portraying is not who they are. Like it doesn't come natural. maybe more so for Casey than for not Casey, but the other girl. I always forget her name.
Kaden.
Hey, maybe more so for her than Casey. Like she just looks like the sweetest person in the world. Like the attitude and shit. Like, but them in the ring is lights out. Like I dig it.
Yeah, so I mean, like the main things to take away from this match was towards the very end, Tony's in the ring with Kaden and Mercedes is on the outside waiting for a tag. EO comes out and just yeets her over the announce table. So getting revenge from the last time Mercedes put EO through the announce table, which I like that they did that. So now it's setting up EO and Mercedes, but it's also kind of setting up EO and Tony because Tony was like, "What are you doing out here?" And later during, I can't remember which match, they were brawling backstage trying to get separated. Tony and EO were.
This is just more bizarre WWE face stuff where faces act like heels. Just come out in a match, interrupt a match in the middle of the tag team tournament. You know what I'm saying? That's good guys. Good guys wouldn't do stuff like that, would they?
I don't know.
Just saying. Just saying.
But yeah, like we said, Casey and Kane win because Casey does one of the craziest things I have ever seen off the top, and nobody knows what she actually did. She just flipped a lot.
6:30.
Was it a 6:30?
It was her boyfriend's move. What do you mean?
It didn't look like it. That's
Because it was
why.
inverted. It was inverted.
Maybe that's why
She
it was
went,
throwing me
she
off.
went backwards or whatever than what he normally does.
I think
But
that's
yeah,
what throws me off is because she wasn't facing the right way. So I was like, I don't even know what the fuck this is.
it was a 6:30.
Which I
I
love.
don't know if she necessarily hit the 6:30. I don't know how many times she flipped, but that's what it was supposed to be.
Yes, that's what it was supposed to be. A lot of people were like, she botched. Which, whatever, even if she did, it still looked cool as hell.
And she did 95 goddamn flips in the air. Like, okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Like, and she still hit her as clean as, I mean, it wasn't as clean as possible. I mean, to even hit her as much as she did with how many flips she did, like, come on, bro. Like, chill.
Yeah, people on the internet are just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I liked it. We like Team Ninja.
Yeah.
We hope they win the whole thing. That's it.
Yeah, just off the strength of them being the only tag team, I'm rooting for them to win the whole thing.
I have a feeling they have a chance.
I think they're going to if once they got rid of these two women out the gate, like they don't really have any competition besides maybe is Raquel and John Gonzalez in it, right?
Dakota and John Gonzalez,
Dakota.
yeah. Yeah, they're in it.
Which I assume they're gonna lose too because they're heels. So
I don't know. I have a feeling it's probably gonna come down to Team Ninja and maybe Candice and Indy.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Either Candice and Indy or Raquel and Dakota.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd actually really be okay with that match. So following that, Finn is just walking to William Regal's office. He's like, I want Pete Dunne. And he's like, just let me start with Oni and Danny because Pete's doing the same shit I do, basically. And Regal's like, listen, I have to stop you from yourself. You need a partner. You can't take them on by yourself. Finn's like, I don't have friends. Mood. He's like, I don't have friends. It's not me anymore. I just have enemies. And then William Regal's like, oh, well, keep your enemies close. And we're all just like, okay, Kyle. Kyle.
Like, why do we even gotta go through? I was like, man, just look, man, go tell Kyle. If Kyle be your partner, then the match is set. That's it.
Just go up to him and be like, Kyle. Yes?
Yes.
Ta-da! That's all we needed, but no, they gotta drag it out for another 2 things. Like, there was no need. It was killing time. I get it. It was building up to Finn.
We might as well just talk about. Let's combine it and talk to us, and we got to come back to it.
Yeah, that just makes my life easier too. So, Finn's like, oh well, I know like a couple people who owe me a favor. Goes to the Undisputed Era locker room, and Adam Cole's like, oh, look what the cat drag did. Finn's like, oh well, the cat's looking for some payback, which I'm so over him calling himself the cat.
Get a cat. They're built for speed or they're built for comfort. What I'm hoping is, I know I always said I didn't want Undisputed Era to break up, but if they do, I'd like for them to turn on Adam so then he could go up,
Stop.
and then
Stop.
Finn takes over the Era and makes it the club. If they're gonna do it, that's the only way I'll be okay with it. Do it.
It shouldn't happen though. Don't even put in the universe that if. No if. If they break up, I'm gonna be so sad.
I am too. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be hard to watch NXT.
It's gonna be a sad day, but it's never gonna happen, so it's fine.
That's good. They might as well just join him in, like, bro. Just join us, bro. Like,
Yeah, honestly, because at this point, he's just like, oh, you know why I'm here, Kyle. And he's like, are you in, or are you still sucking your meals through a straw? I was like, oh, good one. And then
I like how Roddy was like, hold up, motherfucker. Like, hey, bro.
Yeah, Roddy of all people was like, hey, no. And Adam's like, shut up.
I mean, Roddy has been the enforcer though, the smallest guy in the group.
He's trying his best. And then Kyle says, you know, obviously I'm in. And then that ends. So next week it's gonna be Finn and Kyle taking on Danny and Oni. Woohoo. Yay. Pete Dunne's gonna get involved.
Right.
Like,
something's gonna happen where it's gonna end up Finn versus Kyle fight each other. Watch, guaranteed.
Stop. I hope
not in a match, but them just like getting into it because something happened. Either he gets pulled off the thing he can't tag, or he accidentally kicks him. You know how this goes when you team with the champ.
Yeah.
Something screwy is gonna happen.
Something screwy always happens.
Something WWE is gonna happen.
That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
So now that we got all of that out of the way, let's talk about Tyler Rust taking on Bronson Reed. Which, what? This match didn't even need to happen, but like,
no.
I don't even know how to describe it. Like, Bronson Reed's a monster compared to Tyler Rust. Like, Rust is good.
Yeah.
But Rust has a weight on him by like 200 pounds. And
like, my thing is too is like, what did this accomplish for either of them? Like,
nothing.
You were building Rust up, so now he takes a loss, which I understand you're building up Bronson as well, but it's like, what are you building him up to? And what was the point of him beating Rust? Like, if you're building both these guys up, like, I don't know. Like I said, this whole thing just threw me off completely. I didn't like. I get that they were trying to play up the dissension between them two, and even after he beat him, Bivens was like, "Bro, let me do the match picking. You do the match and let me do the shit behind the scenes and being the manager, because that's what I'm here for." And Russ was like, "You're right. You're right."
Yeah, I mean, if you take a tsunami off the top from Bronson Reed, you're dead. Like, you lose.
I guess my thing too with Bronson Reed is like, what is the point? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? No, not like nothing against him at all. I'm like, what are you doing with him? He's just beating jobbers. Like,
Yeah.
He doesn't have a storyline. He doesn't have anything going on besides that damn fake lizard on his back. But I mean, like, he literally has nothing going on. Like, and I'm not mad at it. I'm glad he's getting some wins, and I think he has potential to be a pretty dope champion. But I'm like, you don't have him doing anything.
Yeah, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. I mean, Swerve's also kind of involved with this, but we've already seen that. So I'm not interested in this.
Yeah, I don't know. Now, if it ends up being him and Swerve in some matches, like a real feud, like that's what I was really expecting, was Swerve to get involved some way and help Russ win. But I like I said, I don't know. I'm just like, where is he going? Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it anymore because it doesn't even make sense. Let's talk about Santos Escobar, who we haven't seen on TV in a while. Because, you know, he is the Cruiserweight champ, in case anyone forgot. Because he's not on TV anymore.
He's not my champ.
Not my champ. Jordan Devlin.
The Irish Ace. That's the real Cruiserweight champ.
Which I'm waiting for that face-off to happen.
Right. Bring him over to be with Finn. It's a damn protege.
There's a lot of people they could bring over to from the UK, and they just won't. I mean, I get, pandemic, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't run NXT. I don't run NXT UK. Clearly, because shit would be a lot different. So Santos is just basically saying, "Oh well, I'm the real champ. I do what I want, like when I want." He's talking about how he's like not a he's a true champion. He
Right.
doesn't have metal plates in his jaw. Like he didn't have to break a curse. He didn't have all the pomp and circumstance, like carrying cross, and then couldn't even defend the title. And I was like, ha, I liked that one because it was kind of funny.
Right.
And then he's basically saying, "Oh well, Mendoza and Wild won their first round match of the Classic, which they were showing on 205 Live, I guess." Which, okay,
Yeah, I thought they said that like they had a match on 205 Live or something. Like what?
yeah, that's how Legado and then Drake and Killian Dane advanced. They both, which what the hell is Killian Dane doing on 205 Live?
Yikes.
Um, so they both had respected matches, or yeah, respected matches on 205 Live. So Mendoza and Wild won, and Escobar's talking about like how Lucha House Party tried to take his title, come down to NXT, blah blah blah. Lucha House Party comes out. There's a brawl between all of them, and Kurt Stallion comes out and saves Dorado from basically getting his ass beat by Escobar. And then we find out that caught Escobar's attention, so it's going to be Escobar taking on Kurt Stallion. I think they said next week for the title.
Yeah. He's actually a Matt Riddle protege.
He looks exactly like Matt Riddle.
Yeah, he's his protege from Evolve. He's actually pretty dope for real. Like his mic work is all right, but like he's actually legit in the ring.
I feel like I need to watch some of his stuff now because I've heard the name. I think they mentioned it once or twice on NXT, but
I didn't know he was wrestling on 205 Live because he was in that group of signees with Rust and all those people. He was in that group, but I didn't know he was wrestling on 205 Live because no one watches 205 Live.
facts. Also, the stream froze on my computer, so let me just refresh it, see if it's still there. I mean, if not, it's recording, so I don't care. Come on. Oh, this is just awful. I'll let that load and I'll just keep talking. So after that, we see Drake Maverick and Killian Dane talking about how they won their match and how Drake gives a very impassioned promo saying, well, last year was rough. It started off bad, obviously because he lost his job and then got it back. And how it's gonna take like a real friend, like a real tag team to win this classic, and he's so happy he has Killian Dane by his side, and he's just Drake is just a little ray of sunshine in Killian Dane's like existence.
It's Beauty and the Beast, bro. It literally is Beauty and the Beast. It's like in the beginning when he first kidnaps her and stuff, and they're like trying to get to know. It's literally Beauty and the Beast. Like I don't know why I like this so much. Like y'all know me. I'm the old man. I shit on this type of stuff. Like I love them two together. Like I like how they're like dressed together, look like father and son and shit. Like I like how like he just completely like hates Drake but loves him at the same time, because that's like how I feel about my little brother. Like I could hug him or punch him in the head. Like I never know like when that feeling's gonna change. Like I love this. I like them together. It's just something about Drake. Like it just is. He's that damn endearing because you know he can go in the ring, even though he's literally the size of a toddler. But you also know that he can talk on the mic. Like Killian doesn't have to say anything. This is what Killian Day needed. He needed a mouthpiece, and not necessarily being in the tag team, but that doesn't hurt either because at least you're getting some matches and it's not just like random shit. But like this is what they both needed each other, and it was at the right time. And like I said, I don't know why I like this. I normally don't like thrown together teams. I normally don't like comedy shit like this, but like I'm into this. Like I like them a lot.
I love them together. It's exactly what you said. Killian Dane hates Drake, but he loves him at the same time.
Right.
And he was like, oh, that was good, and like slapped Drake on the back, and is like, I'll see you next week, and Drake's just like, ow.
And then the best part is that he asked him for his number. I'm gonna need your number. Like, how's that your best friend and your tag team partner, and you still don't have his number? Y'all been tagging for 6 damn months now. Like that's what I'm saying. Like just something, that little touch right there at the end, like just put a cherry on top. Like I said, I have no idea. I cannot tell you why I like this in any way, shape, or form. Like I just like it. I don't know why. Like I start smiling like a schoolgirl every time they come on screen and they're talking. Like I don't know why. I don't know why, and it makes me mad that I like it as much as I do.
You just get mad that you like something so much. You're like, damn it.
Because it's like, cause normally this is something I would shit on profusely. Like literally I would call this two cheeks in a bun, but like I can't. Like I like it. I like it. I like it.
I've never heard that expression before, and I love it. Oh my god. Let's talk about the main event. The thing that has been hyped up for a while. The Fight Pit. Tommaso Ciampa taking on Timothy Thatcher. What did you think of this?
It was all right. Like I said, this whole night like didn't live up to my own hype in my head. Like the first one was better for sure.
Yeah, I don't really remember the first one. Probably because time's not real, so I forget a lot of things.
Yeah.
But they were on top of the pit for so long, it seemed like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that, what was the point of it being a pit match if you never actually got in the pit?
They got in the pit during like the freaking picture-in-picture, and like I looked up
Right.
and I was like, oh, they're in the ring. Crap. Okay.
Yeah, it was all right. Like I'm not gonna say it wasn't terrible. Like because they beat the brakes off of each other, which we expected. But like the first one was definitely better.
I definitely liked the ending of this though.
Right. And I did not expect Thatcher to win.
I didn't either. And I'll say something after I explain the finish that I saw on Twitter, which I want to get your opinion on. So basically, Ciampa hits like his big moves. He hits Willow's Bell. He hits Fairy Tale Ending, which he hits Willow's Bell over the ref, which was amazing. And at one point, Thatcher has Ciampa in the sleeper, and Ciampa walks or tries to like get over to the corner where like there's a little like crack in the cage, and his leg gets stuck. His leg gets like wedged. So Thatcher just improvises and does like a modified stretch muffler to.
Oh no, his leg didn't get stuck. He shoved him in that. He shoved him in that hole.
Oh, did he?
Literally. Oh, he middle school bullied him. He shoved him in the locker.
Like Rhea to Dakota.
Like he shoved him in that little hole, like and beat his back. He shoved him in there. I'm like, damn, he won't fit in the Ciampa. Get in the locker, man. Just get in the locker.
Just get in the locker.
Yeah, it was not what I expected, but I wasn't mad at it. Kind of, I thought that was actually kind of cool. Like it was kind of like like did not really need it, but like I'm not mad at the execution of it and what happened next.
Yeah, so the modified stretch muffler, and Ciampa ends up tapping because I believe it was on his like
surgically repaired.
Yeah, and then Matt keeps saying that they're staring sensually at each other, which I don't see that.
It was sensual,
and maybe I'm just not picking up on this. I didn't think it was.
You can't look that deep into another man's eye and then not be sensual. No men should have eye contact that long. Anything over a couple seconds, it's sensual. It means something.
Maybe it's because I'm not a dude, and I don't have that issue. I also just don't like eye contact.
Well, exactly. Well, that's the one thing. Like, have you ever looked a woman in the eye that long?
No, I don't like eye contact.
All right then. It was sensual. It was almost a like. Never mind. This is PG show. I'm not gonna say anything.
We've passed PG a long time ago with the amount of F's we dropped earlier. But no, I don't think I want you to say it.
No, you don't.
No. But something I saw on Twitter, which I wish I could remember who said it. It was saying, well, Thatcher beat Riddle in the first Fight Pit. Riddle went up to the main roster. Thatcher beats Ciampa. Ciampa goes up to the main roster? Question mark.
No, he
Which,
said
no.
a million times not going to the main roster. Like,
If
no.
we didn't know, so say Ciampa never like publicly said he never wants to go to the main roster or he'll like leave. Say he never said that. It would make sense for that to be like his going up.
Not really, because it didn't make sense for Riddle to go up.
I mean, I don't even think Riddle should have gone up anyways.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it didn't make sense for Riddle to go up. Like, it's.
I don't know. I mean,
I get the thinking behind it, but like, both cases, Riddle went up too soon, and Ciampa's not going at all. So, boom, your theory's exploded. So,
I was just saying.
I wasn't saying you. I'm just saying like whoever came up with that theory. It's
I honestly don't even remember who it was. I gotta start.
It's not a real thing. It's just not a real thing.
It can't be a thing. And then of course Matt's like, it was. Cut that tension with a knife. Get out of here.
It was sensual. They were on their knees. They were sweaty. They had just expended an inordinate amount of energy, and they were looking at each other deeply. Sensual.
Allegedly.
Not allegedly. It's on tape. It's filmed.
It was live.
It was on live TV.
It was on the USA Network, for Christ's sake. Whatever. I'll be in the losing part of this argument until the day I die, it seems, but whatever.
Go back and watch it and just pause it.
No!
I'm just telling you, listen, I'm not trying to be homophobic. I'm not trying to be that type of person, but men do not look each other in the eye that long unless there's some feelings involved. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. I have no personal experience with that, so I'll just take your word for it.
The only time men look each other in the eye that long is fighting or fucking. That's all I'm saying.
Jesus
That's all I'm saying.
Christ.
And they had already fought. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm gonna say.
God. All right, this has been the NXT recap. Thank you guys for watching. Again, head over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/SmackDownPodcast. Subscribe, like the video, hit the notification bell so you get notified when we post a new video. Next week, it will be me and Kevin, because RN's going to be doing UWO. I don't even know if NXT is going to be live yet. I'm still trying to figure that out. Just, that's why you gotta go to subscribe to the YouTube channel, so that way you'll know when it's up. Or Twitter at SmackDownPod. Follow us there too. Anything you want to say before we head out, RN?
No. Follow MJB. Check us out on Unpopular Opinions. Finally, after an 8-month hiatus. Definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah. Even if they're both we're both live somehow, go check out UWO. It's fine. I won't be offended. I promise. All right.
Should have.
You guys have a good one. We'll see you later.
See y'all Friday.